Every Little Thing Yoga, and I am so excited to be here today with you. Now, so far for the library, we've done some chair yoga. We've done a series in December that had some practices of calming techniques and also some lower to the ground kind of relaxing flows. And for January, I thought that we would try to do something a little more energetic and active. So if you're ready to jumpstart your fitness, I know that's a big thing for a lot of people in January, especially when we've been trapped in our homes because of weather or because of social distancing. It would be a great way to start a fitness routine right from your home, from your mat, wherever you can find some space. Now, just like all my other classes, I am going to offer some modifications where you can bring it down a level or two or bring it up if you want more of a challenge. And I'll try to offer those for a lot of the poses. But if at any point you feel anything that hurts, I just want you to make sure to take a break. You can go into child's pose. You can lie down on your mat. You can just sit in a very easy, comfortable seat and either skip that portion and maybe build up to it. You might watch this one a few times over if you want to build strength. I actually called this one I Am Strong. So if you want to build strength, it'll build strength through your whole body, but especially in your core. It would be a great practice to watch on repeat to do that, maybe once or twice a week. But if you feel anything that just doesn't feel right, go ahead and take that break, and you can always jump back in when it's something that you feel is more comfortable in your body. I don't want anyone feeling hurt. That's not to say I don't expect you to be challenged. This is going to be a challenging class. So go ahead and level up and take some of the extra challenges if you're ready for it. I actually made it for teens through adults. So anyone even 14, 15 and on up will probably have fun with this class. But just find your appropriate edge. So give yourself a challenge, give yourself a stretch, but don't give yourself any injuries or any pain. All right. So even though it's going to be a more active class, it's always great to start with a little bit of grounding before we begin our class. So today we're going to do what's called kumbhaka breath. That's just a fancy name for retention. Well, not fancy, a Sanskrit name for retention breathing. So we're going to hold our breath. And we'll do it together a few times so you can get the hang of it. This is a technique you can use anytime you just want to give yourself a little energy. We hold our breath after the inhale to give ourselves energy, and you can hold it after the exhale if you want to bring the energy down later. So today, to get ready, we're going to hold it after our inhale. So I'll scooch back so you can see. I'm just sitting in a comfortable seat. You can put hands on knees. You can put hands on belly, one hand on heart, one hand on belly, wherever your hands feel comfortable. And we're going to breathe in, and I'll count the breath for us. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Great job. So we're going to do that a few times through now that you sort of know what it feels like. So we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Great job. Now we're going to take our hands, we're going to bring them to our heart center, and we're going to breathe in. And on the exhale, we're going to let our chin fall down towards our chest, and you're going to feel a stretch in the back of your neck. And we'll just hold it here for a few breaths. And while you're in this position and getting this great neck stretch, if you want to set an intention or use a mantra for this practice, now would be a great time to do that. It could be something as simple as, I am strong, I am capable, I am open is a great one. We use the word open a lot in yoga. It can mean opening of the body, like opening your shoulders or your hips. It could be approaching things with an open mind, knowing, hey, I might be in for some new poses or a challenge, but I'm going to have an open mind. So if any of those resonate with you, or if there's a different mantra or intention you want to set, or if there isn't one that's coming to you at all, any of those are great options. So we'll take one more breath in. If you picked a mantra, go ahead and whisper it to yourself or say it in your head on the exhale. And then we'll bring our head back up. All right, and we'll jump into stretching out our body a little bit first, and then some fun stretches on the mat. So we're going to start with a lateral side bend. So take your left hand, put it on the ground, breathe in, raise your right hand into the air, and then stretch over any amount that's comfortable. And you want to make sure to open up through your right shoulder. If it's comfortable in your neck, you can gaze up either at your hand or up at the ceiling. And then come back down. Great work. And we'll do that on the other side. So plant your right hand, breathe in and raise your left hand up. And then on the exhale, stretch any amount over and open. Kind of, you'll feel your shoulder blades kind of going down your back. And you can look up towards the sky if that's comfortable with your neck. And then come back. Great job. All right, so then we're going to do some spinal flexion. We're going to do a seated cat-cow. We're also going to do a more traditional one, but this is a nice one. You could even do it at your desk if you need a little bit of movement in your body, and it's not super weird looking, but it can kind of help work out some kinks without jumping into a full yoga routine. I'll turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing at first. So when I breathe in, I let my belly expand and my chest goes forward, and I can turn my gaze or even my chin a little up towards the sky. And then on my exhale, I round my back like a Halloween cat. And then the same again. Inhale. Let the belly expand. Look up your gaze towards the ceiling. And then exhale. Round back. Let's try that once more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Great job. All right, then we're going to do a quick fold. So bring the soles of your feet together, and we're in Baddha Konasana, or butterfly pose. And you can put your hands on your feet if that's comfortable, on your ankles. You can even just rest them on your knees. And we're going to breathe in. And then we're going to fold over, hinging at our hips and trying to keep our back straight as we fold. So try not to round too much in your back. So breathe in. And then exhale and come forward any amount. You might be able to come forward to here today, and that's great. You might be able to bend a little more forward, depending how open your hips are. You might put your elbows out towards your knees to kind of give an extra stretch as you gently put some pressure on your legs. Or you might fold all the way down, head towards the ground. We'll take a couple breaths here. All right, and then on your next exhale, gently roll up. Good job. And then we're going to come forward onto hands and knees, and we're going to do a more traditional cat-cow. So we want to have a neutral spine, and then we'll breathe in. Remember, let that belly sag, point your chin or your gaze up towards the sky, whatever comfortable in your neck. And then on the exhale, we round our back like a kitty. Inhale. And exhale. All right, now our backs are warmed up, so we're going to try hovering table or hovering cat. So we're going to breathe in, breathe out, and on the next inhale, lift your knees off the ground. We want to try and keep our spine neutral, so not rounding it, not sagging it, just try to keep it neutral. And we're going to count to 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and on the 1, lower your knees. That is a lot of work for your legs. That's a lot of work for your core. That's a really wonderful pose. And now we're going to thread the needle. Now this is a pose you may have done before. We're going to add a little extra challenge element to it if you want to feel an extra stretch. So let's start with planting our left hand on the ground in front of us, right in the middle, between our shoulders. We're going to breathe in and raise and twist our right hand toward the sky. And then on the exhale, bring your hand through between your legs and your arm and your shoulder onto the ground. Now you can stay here. This is already a really big stretch. Or if you want, you can creep that upper arm over your head. Extend it out. And then if you want to take it one level further, you can shift your weight a little bit into your right knee and bring your left leg up. And you keep your toes on the ground. You could, if you wanted to do a balance challenge, lift your left leg into the sky, but that is an extra challenging pose. This is a great stretch for your full body. And then wherever you're at, if your leg was extended or your arm was extended, bring them back. Gently untwist and come back into table. Now we can push back to child's pose, just to stretch our spine in the other direction. And then we're going to try that same posture on the other side. So bring your right hand in between your two shoulders, right in front of you. Raise your left hand up into the sky on an inhale, and then on an exhale, thread the needle. And the same goes on this side. You might feel different on this side, so you might just stay in this position. You might creep that right hand out, and you might also extend that right foot out. And you want to push through the heel if you have that right foot extended to really get a good stretch. Then go ahead and bring it back to table. Great job. And then we're going to push up to down dog. So you can put your hands a little wider, a little more in front of you, and then gently push up and back. Great work. You kind of want to have your body in a V shape. You can take a peek at the video if you need. And go ahead and walk your legs out a little before we find stillness. And your heels may touch the ground or they may not. Either is just great. It kind of depends on how tight your calves are, your hamstrings, and just how your body's shaped as well. All right, and then we're going to jump or walk forward, your choice. So jump or walk forward into a forward fold. And then we're going to come up to halfway lifts. So that can look very different for a lot of people. You want it to feel like your body is the number 7. So you might have your hands on your shins. You may have your hands on some blocks. If you're feeling a little creative today, why don't you try some creative arms? You could have arms at your heart center. You could have arms on your thighs. You could have arms out behind you like airplane arms. All right, and then we're going to fold down again. And then I want you to plant your hands on the ground and step or hop back. And now you're in a plank position. And we are going to lift and lower our legs. So this is going to be a bit of a core challenge. If it's too much, you can always go into a half plank. You just want to keep that straight line with your body. All right, so we're going to lift our right leg up and then down, just tap the toe, up, and then down, tap the toe. One more time, up, down, and tap the toe. Great work. Now you can either stay in plank, lower the knees to half plank for a breath, or even push back to child's pose. Then we're all going to meet again in plank, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So lift that left leg, and tap and lower the toes. Lift the left leg, tap and lower the toes, and one more time. Lift the left leg, tap and lower the toes. Great work. We're going to come back to table, and then we're going to push back to extended child's pose. Go ahead and bring your knees as wide as the mat if that's comfortable. And then you can stay in this position, or you can bring your hands together, just like we do at our heart, but then bring them back over your head, kind of face them towards the back of you or the wall behind you, and make a little shark fin, and then crawl your elbows a little more forward on the mat. And this gives you a really kind of different and good upper back stretch. Let's just take 3 breaths here. All right. Now we're going to come back up and we're going to come into plank again. And what we're going to do here is we're going to breathe in. And on the exhale, bring your knee towards your chest. You can even curl your head towards it. And then put it back. Breathe in. And bring your knee towards your right knee towards your right elbow. Put it back into plank. And then we're going to bring our right knee to our left elbow and then bring the leg down in front of us. Now you want to have your shin as close to parallel as you can with the front edge of your mat. If your shin, kind of show you like this, if your shin is more of an angle, that's just fine. That's what your body needs today. But if you're able to, try to keep it parallel. And then we walk this leg, your left leg, back behind you into pigeon pose. Now, if you're having trouble and your right hip is not making contact with the ground, go ahead and take a blanket and you can put it right under your right hip to support it. That would be a great way to find the length of the pose while still feeling supported, not like you're overstretching or overworking muscles. Now we want to come up, you can come up onto fingertips, you can come up onto fists. Some people would even use blocks here. You could put a block here if you need to find a little extra height and you want to do a little more of a back bend. And then you can stay in this pose. You are welcome to come down and fold and extend your pigeon. You could also make fists with your hands and rest your head on top of them. But if you want to try something a little funky and creative, we are going to take our right hand and place it between our two shoulders out in front of us again. And we're going to do a twisted pigeon. So this is a thread the needle in a pigeon position. So breathe and raise your left hand, arm up towards the sky. Thread the needle and rest your shoulder and your head on the ground. Your right hand can stay planted right on the mat, kind of elbow at a 90-degree angle for support, or come back out over your head again, whatever feels good today. And then we're going to slowly untwist on our next exhale, come back into pigeon, and then come back into our table position. Now that one was a lot of work. That was a great job. So now we're going to go into down dog, or you're welcome to just go into child's pose for a breath. If you need a rest after that, go ahead and go to child's pose. Otherwise, we're going to push up into down dog, and then we're going to come out of down dog, go back into our plank. If you were in child's pose, meet us in plank, and we're going to do the same on our left side. So we're going to breathe in and breathe out. Then we're going to breathe in, and on the exhale, bring that knee towards your chest. Go ahead and curl towards it, your left knee, and then send it back out behind you. Breathe in. On the exhale, bring that left knee up to that left elbow, and then extend it out behind you. And then one more time, we're going to breathe in, twist and bring that left knee towards that right elbow, and then bring your left leg parallel with the front edge of your mat. And we're going to do pigeon on the other side. So extend your right leg out behind you. You can point the toe. You could, if it feels better, you could actually flex the foot and kind of rock back and forth. Sometimes that feels good to get into the pose. All right, and then the same is true on this side. On this side, my left hip actually isn't hitting the ground. So I am tighter on the left than the right today. So I will put a blanket right under there to support me. And that lets me do the full pose without feeling like I'm sacrificing length in my back or other muscles are working too hard. So again, we're going to come up. You can come up on your fingertips. You can come onto fists. You can use your blocks. And if you want, you can just start to fold down if that's what feels comfortable a day, resting on forearms, resting on fists, or head all the way to the ground. But if you want to try that twist again on the other side, let's go for it. Take your left hand, place it down in front of you. Breathe in and raise that right arm towards the sky, and then twist your pigeon and put your right cheek and your shoulder on the ground. Again, you can put your left hand here in front of you for support, 90 degrees, or you can reach it out overhead, whatever's most comfortable today. And you'll probably start to find that even as you move your arm, you might feel a different stretch in your hip just because your arm is moving. So your body will tell you what it needs and what feels good versus what doesn't feel so great. Now we're going to come right back out of that. Move any blankets you had to the side. And come right into our table. All right, and then the best part, we're going to push back into child's pose and take a few breaths to counterbalance our back and all of our stretching. Now in child's pose, if you're more comfortable with your knees close together and you like to curl up like that, even if you want to put your arms behind you in a more traditional child's pose like this, go for it. I always like having my knees spread wide and extending my arms out. So it's really a personal preference of what's the most comfortable. And that might change from day to day. All right, now we're going to rise back up. Now we've done a great amount of core work. We've done some arm work and some strengthening. And now we're going to start cooling down with some twists. But we're going to do some sort of creative twists today. So we're going to start with mermaid pose. Not the full mermaid pose if you're familiar with it, but we're going to do mermaid legs. So I'm going to bring my right leg in front of me, and you want it parallel with your mat edge, and then your left leg comes around and goes right behind you. Your foot or toes or the arch of your foot should be touching the knee of your left leg if that's comfortable. If you're here today and that's all you can do, if you can't quite get this leg behind you, that's fine too. Or if mermaid legs is too much, go ahead, just sit in a simple cross-legged for these stretches. Whatever feels the best is what you should go for. So I'm going to go into mermaid legs. And we're first going to take, if you have your right leg in front of you, take your right hand, plant it on the ground, and then breathe in. Raise your left arm up to the air, and then you want to bend over. And we're doing a side stretch like we did in the beginning, but it's a little different with the leg positioning. So you can do this. You want to try and keep your left sit bone on the ground if possible. It might lift up. You can always support it with a blanket as well if it does. So keep that left arm reaching. You can also come all the way down onto your right forearm if that feels comfortable, and that'll give you a bigger stretch in your side body. All right. Then on your next exhale, come up, plant your left hand, and the same on this side. Breathe your right arm up, and then stretch. Now, chances are you will not be able to go quite as far on this side, depending how tight your quadriceps, your legs are. But if you can, you're welcome to come down to the forearm on the left as well. All right. Come back to the middle. And then for our last move, we're going to plant our right hand again. Breathe our left arm up. And then we're going to do a gentle twist to the side. Now you want to have both hands down on the ground next to you. You can look over your left shoulder if that's comfortable. You can look straight ahead towards the right. You can even look back towards your right shoulder if that's comfortable. They're all a little bit of a different stretch. And only go as far as is comfortable and giving you a stretch you can feel, not cranking your body so much that things start to twinge or hurt. All right, and then we'll come back to center. Now we're going to sit crisscross applesauce. I often sit a little more like half lotus, whatever's comfortable for your legs. We're going to take our right arm and bring our right hand to our left shoulder. We're going to bring our left arm over our right arm to our right shoulder, and we're giving ourselves a hug. We're going to breathe in. And on the exhale, we're going to hinge forward at the hips. It's okay if your back rounds a bit for this one. And we're just going to fold as much as is comfortable while still keeping our bums and our sits bones firmly planted on the ground. Take a nice breath in and out. And on your next exhale, come back up. Great work. Now we're going to balance it out on the other side. So whatever you did, if you were crisscross applesauce, stick in that position, Sukhasana. If you were in mermaid legs, do mermaid legs on the other side as long as that's still comfortable. So I have my left leg out front, parallel with my mat. I have my right leg behind me, and we're going to do the stretches again. Try and, if you can, keep your head over your heart over your pelvis alignment, at least so it feels like that when you're in the mermaid pose before we start bending. So we're going to take our left hand, plant it on the ground. Raise your right hand to the sky. And then on the exhale, bend over any amount. If you want to come down into the forearm for a deeper stretch, go for it. All right, then we're going to plant our right arm, breathe our left arm up, and stretch over to the side that way. Great work. And then we're going to end with the twist. So put your left hand to the ground, breathe your right arm up, and then twist around. And again, you can look forward. You can look over that right shoulder. You can look over that left shoulder, whatever feels most comfortable in this position for you. And then we're going to bring it back to center. Sit Sukhasana, crisscross again. And this time we're going to take our left arm and bring it to our right shoulder, left hand to right shoulder, right hand to left shoulder. So the same hug fold, but we have our arms in the opposite position as before. And then breathe in. And on the exhale, fold over any amount. Remember, keep contact with the ground. Keep your bum and your sits bones on the ground. And fold over any amount that feels comfortable. All right, and then gently roll back up. Great work, everybody. Now we're going to head into Shavasana. So we're going to do our final stretches and then lay down and do a little bit of a relaxation and meditation. So I want everyone to come and sit on their mats with legs bent, feet planted on the ground. We're going to come into one little last core pose if your core can handle it. So as we breathe in, raise those legs, come into boat pose, and then slowly lower down. If that's too much, go ahead and plant those feet again, but try to lower down with your core engaged as you go down. Great job. If you're like me and have anything in your hair, go ahead and take it out. So you can lay on the ground. And then we're going to take our legs up, if you're able, into a happy baby position. And that means grabbing the outer edges of our feet and spreading our legs a little wide and taking any organic movements that feel comfortable, maybe rocking. Now, if this is too intense for you, you can keep one leg on the ground bent and just rock one leg at a time. And I've even found that this stretch is a really cool stretch. Happy baby is not usually a challenge in my body, but sometimes I choose half happy baby just to get a different stretch in my hips. So go ahead and play with it. See what feels good for you. If you normally do happy baby, try half happy baby. Give it a shot. And it might be something you like or it might be not for you at all. You can also grab the inner arches more in a straddle position if that's more comfortable. Rock back and forth. Great job. Then we're going to plant our feet on the ground. We want to have our feet pretty close to our tailbone. And we're going to take one quick bridge pose just to stretch everything out. If bridge is not comfortable in your body, just go ahead and start working your way to Shavasana and laying flat on the ground. Otherwise, go ahead and on the inhale, roll up. And you can keep your arms planted on the ground next to you. You can also interlace your hands, your fingers, and sort of roll your shoulder blades back to give yourself an extra push. And you want your chest to come towards your chin towards the sky. We don't want to put any pressure in our neck when we do this pose. Take a breath here, and then on the exhale, go ahead and roll it back down. And then we're going to put the soles of our feet together and just let our knees splay to the side. And we're doing a Supta Baddha Konasana, or just a reclined butterfly pose. Go ahead and put your hands on your belly and take a breath in. Let it out. Take another breath. Try the deepest breath you've taken all day. Breathe in. Let it out on a sigh. Good job. Let's do one more. Deep breath in. Let it out through the mouth. Nice work. And now we can slowly start to put our legs out, extend them out into corpse pose. Put your arms at your side. And we're just going to take a few quiet moments. So we've taken some deep breaths. And I want you to lay here. Let your breathing return to normal, but you can just sort of follow along on the in-breath and the out-breath. And start to relax. You can even count your breaths. Count them 1, 2, or say in, out. You can even count them up to 10 and start over again. And if you're getting super cozy and want to pause the video here and take a longer Shavasana, go for it. If you want to grab any props like blankets or bolsters, go for that too. Otherwise, we'll finish up here and then come back up. Breathe in and out. Imagine the muscles of your face fully relaxing. The muscles of your upper arms and lower arms and hands as they sink Feel the muscles in your chest and your back relaxing. Feel your belly get softer and your lower back and your hips and your glutes relax. Feel the muscles of your upper thighs and your calves relax. Feel your knees being soft and your feet fully relaxed and sinking into the ground. Then just take a few more breaths in and out on your own. As you're ready, on your next exhale, you can start to wiggle your toes and wiggle your hands to bring some movement back to your body. And then you can roll over to one side and pillow your head beneath your hands beneath your head. Take a breath here, in and out, nice and slowly. And then as you're ready, go ahead and push up to sitting. Just come to an easy seat. We'll bring our hands to our heart. The light in me sees the light in you, and the beauty in me sees the beauty in you. I want to thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.